There's a moment nobody prepares you for. Not the hard years, not the building and the hustling and the figuring it out. Those you expect. This moment is different. Everything is working. Revenue is fine. Clients are fine. The team is doing their jobs. Nothing is broken. Nothing needs fixing. And yet, you find yourself sitting in the middle of everything you worked so hard to create. And the only thought you can hear is, what the hell did I build? Not because it failed, because you built it exactly the way you planned. And somewhere along the way, you outgrew the plan. I was on vacation when it happened. Not a dramatic moment, not a meeting or a milestone celebration. I was sitting down to do my own business taxes. The thing I do for everyone else, now turned on myself. At first, they were just numbers, the way numbers always are, before they mean something. And then I stopped, and I looked, really looked, and what I saw stopped me cold. The business had grown significantly. The kind of growth I teach clients to manage carefully. Not too fast. Give it time. Let the foundation hold. And here it was, in my own numbers, telling me a story I had lived but never once stopped to witness. I had quietly crossed into multiple six figures, and I hadn't noticed. The new office, the team, the clients were coming in faster than I could track. All of it was there in the numbers, quietly building, while I was head down doing the work. I hadn't sacrificed for it. I hadn't even seen it happening. It was growing behind the scenes, while I was busy being the business, and sitting there on vacation, looking at what I had built in black and white for the first time. The only thing I could think was, what the hell did I build? Not with regret, with genuine bewilderment, because the answer was sitting right there in the numbers, and I had been too busy to read it. I had built exactly what I set out to build, every piece of it. The clients, the team, the revenue, the growth. After the shock of truly seeing the numbers, my next feeling wasn't pride. It was anger. Anger that I had missed it, that the milestones had passed without a single moment of acknowledgement, that I had been so deep in the doing that I hadn't once stopped to witness what I was building. And then the anger gave way to something quieter. Confusion. Not about the business, about myself. I stepped back and looked at what I had built, really looked at it, and I didn't know how to answer the simplest question. Is this truly what I want? And then something familiar surfaced. A feeling I recognized from the day I walked away from corporate career. The same quiet knowing that what I was building had no future in the direction it was heading. I had built something real, something that had grown steady for years. And standing inside it, I felt exactly the way I had felt before I left corporate. But this time it was different. This wasn't someone else's company. This was mine. Every decision, every client, every late night and early morning. And yet the feeling was the same. I had changed, but the company hadn't changed with me. The growth had been so rapid, so relentless, that somewhere in the middle of it, I had evolved. And what I had built no longer fit the person who I was becoming. Most people who find their way to me are carrying something they haven't been able to say out loud yet. They'll say, the business is fine, revenue is fine, the team is fine, and then they'll pause. And in that pause is everything they haven't said yet. Because what they're actually feeling, underneath the composed exterior and the careful language, is something closer to what I felt, sitting with those numbers on vacation. Anger, confusion, a creeping sense that the thing they built no longer fits the person they've become. And the reason they haven't said it out loud isn't because they don't feel it. It's because they think they're the only one. They think gratitude should cancel out confusion, that success should feel a certain way, that wanting something different after building something real makes them difficult or ungrateful or lost. It doesn't. It makes them honest. And honest is exactly where the real work begins. Here's what makes this particular moment so isolating. Nobody around you can see it. They see the revenue, they see the team, they see everything you've built, and they see success. And when you try to articulate what you're feeling, the anger, the confusion, the sense that something has fundamentally shifted, they don't know what to do with it. So they reach for the closest explanation. You're overwhelmed. You may need to delegate more. You've been working too hard for too long, and you just need a break from it. And underneath all of that, the unspoken thing, the one nobody says out loud, but you can feel in the room, is that you should be grateful. You have everything. You built it yourself. People would trade places with you in a heartbeat. And so you go quiet. Because how do you explain that gratitude and confusion can exist in the same moment? That you can be proud of what you built and also know with absolute certainty that it no longer fits? You can't say that to most people in your life. Not because they don't love you, because they don't have a frame for it. And so, the problem sits, unnamed, getting heavier, while everyone around you sees success and you're standing inside it, wondering what comes next. What I know is this. The moment you ask, "What the hell did I build?" is not the end of something. It's the beginning. Not because the business is broken, not because you made wrong decisions or took the wrong path, but because you grew. And growth, real growth, eventually asks you to look honestly at what you've built and decide whether it still belongs to the person you've become. The version of you that created the original plan, that made the early decisions, that said yes to all of it. That version built something real. But that version is no longer who you are. You changed. You evolved. And the business, for all its growth, stayed closer to the blueprint than you did. To have success, you must have growth. They are hand in hand. That question, "What the hell did I build?" takes courage to ask. Most people never ask it. They keep going. They push through. They tell themselves gratitude should be enough. You built something real, something that worked, something that grew beyond what you could see while you were building it. And now the question isn't, "What the hell did I build?" The question is, "What's next?" I want to leave you with two things. The first is from Albert Einstein. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. And the second is something I know to be true from my own journey and from every conversation I have had with someone standing exactly where you are right now. What you build in one season of life may not be what you carry into the next. Sit with that for a minute. And when you're ready to ask what comes next, not with fear, but with the same courage it took to build what you have, you'll find the next step below. And if something in this conversation stayed with you, don't rush to resolve it. Sit with it. Sometimes clarity arrives the moment we stop forcing an answer. And if the problem needs a room of its own, you'll find the next step below. Until next time, this has been the Quiet Directive with Sylvia P. Mason. Find it where you listen.